Hello friends, welcome once again to our new series on Ionic 5 tutorial. In this series we are going to be looking at the following. We are going to be going through step-by-step process on how we can convert this UI design, and after converting it we will see how we can implement different login functionalities, like how we can log in using Facebook, using Google Plus, and also Apple login interface. But before we look at how we can set up our environment and install any dependencies that we need to install. Okay, let's go and see what we need to do in this series. This is our to-do list that we are going to be going through. So first we'll be installing Ionic 5 and its dependencies, and second we'll create the login and sign up page. The third will be implementing login sign up with Firebase. Fourth will be login with Facebook. Fifth, login with Google, and sixth will be login with Apple. In this video we are going to be starting with our first item, which is installing Ionic and other dependencies onto our different system. These are the different steps that we are going to be going through when we are installing Ionic. First we will be installing Apache Cordova, and the second will be installing Ionic. I believe at this stage you know what Cordova is and what an Ionic application is, so I'm not going to go through that. Okay, the third will be installing Capacitor to our project. Capacitor is a new open source project interface that we use to compile our applications for iOS and Android, and also web. We'll look at what a capacitor and how it can be used in our project. So and also we'll initialize into our project. And fifth will be installing a new platform that we'll be working with, either iOS or Android. So these are the steps that we are going to be taking in this video. So we'll start by installing Apache Cordova. We'll be running commands like npm to install different dependencies and packages into our application. So for us to do that, we need to have npm installed, and npm comes with Node.js. It's installed with Node.js, which means that when you download Node.js and install it, it automatically get installed on your PC or Mac. So that having said, let's go to nodejs.org website, and when you come here you will see different installation for different platforms. So if you on Windows, just select there. If you on Mac, you can install respectively. So in this video I won't go into installing Node because I already have it, but if you don't have it, go ahead and install that. Okay, so we'll run, first we'll run sudo npm install . So this command will run and install the latest Cordova package on your machine. So we'll go ahead and run, and this command always requires you to put in a password. So I'll put my password. and then it will go ahead and install for us the latest Cordova. Okay, let's wait until it's finished. Okay, after it has finished installing Cordova, we'll go ahead and run still sudo npm install, and this one will also run and install the latest Ionic version onto our respective machines. Okay, we have an error, so they are telling us that we need to use this instead of just installing good. So let's check our Cordova version. We just say Cordova V, and that will give you the version of Cordova installed. We have version 10, and then let's check our Ionic. Good, we have Ionic 5 installed, so we have the latest packages of Ionic and Cordova. Good. So okay, let's go ahead and see what we need to do next. We have installed Apache Cordova and we have installed Ionic, so we are going to create our Ionic project. So let's go ahead and I will navigate to my directory. So it will be development. That's my development directory, so I will start there, new project, Ionic start, and our project name will be let's call it login form. Okay, so this will ask us different frameworks that we can work with. Remember, Ionic allows us to work with different frameworks. Like, so if you are working with React, you can select React. Working with Angular, then we will. So in this video, we are going to be using Angular to create our project. So I'll go ahead and select Angular, and then it will give us different templates that we can work with. For there is tabs, side menu, then I will go ahead and select a blank document. So now Ionic has finished installing our project, so let's navigate to our project directory, and we'll do that by cd, then login form, and here we'll go ahead and open up our editor. I'm going to use Atoms for this video. So here I will go to files, and my development, so I'll open. This is our project structure. So we are going to go through this project and see different folders and files. In our root folder, we have the following important files and folders. So one of them is firstly we'll have a node module folder, and if we expand it, we see different other folders inside it. And basically this one contains all the npm packages installed in the project. So all the packages that we install using npm are stored inside node module folder. We can also create this folder by just running npm install. Okay, that having said, let's move to source folder. This folder is the one that contains our raw files, or you can say uncompiled files for our project. So it's where all our project's files are going to be. We have also to know that this is the most important folder where the majority of the app will be built from. So all the files that we need to create, add, or edit will be done all inside this source folder. And this one basically is generated automatically. We should not do anything with it. So let's look at angular.json. Angular.json is the main configuration file for Angular CLI. So all the configuration for Angular are stored inside this angular.json. Package.json file, like any modern web application, needs a package system and a package manager to handle all the third-party libraries and modules the app uses. So we have a tsconfig.json file is the main configuration file where TypeScript compiler look for. So that having said, let's go inside our source folder and see what we have there. So we have the app folder. App folder has all the components, modules, pages, services, and styles. We have the assets folder. Here is where we find sample images and other JSON files and other assets that the application may require. Okay, and we have also the environments folder. It's where we find configuration files used by Angular to manage different variables. So we have the theme folder. Theme, this one includes all the theming, variable, and CSS classes, or you can call them mixins, for our application. Okay, another thing we have to know that inside our source folder is where we find the index.html, and this is the main entry point to our application, and its main purpose is to set up scripts, CSS, Bootstrap, and start our application. So we have also inside here we have app module.ts file. This is the entry point for our application. So every application, and inside here we also have app.component.html, and is the main template for the application. So this is the main template for our application. That's why we have Ion app. So all the components will be called inside here. So, and also we have to note that when we run Ionic serve, our code inside our source folder is transpiled into the correct JavaScript version that the browser understands. Okay, so that's having said, let's go ahead and add capacitor to our application. So for us to do that, we'll go to the project directory, and here we'll say np. Before we add capacitor to our project, remember capacitor works as Cordova. Let's see what capacitor is. Okay, capacitor is an open source projects like Cordova that runs modern web applications natively on iOS, Android, Electron, and web. As an alternative to Cordova, Capacitor delivers the same cross-platform benefits with a more modern approach to application development. Okay, so someone might ask, why do we choose to use Capacitor instead of using Cordova? Capacitor is the only native runtime to deliver first-class support for web applications and progressive web apps. So if you are planning to, develop a progressive web app with Ionic, you can go ahead and implement Capacitor in your project. Another thing we need to know about Capacitor is Capacitor will only use your implementation if the native environment is not available, so the user can use the exact same API when running on iOS, Android, Electron, and web. That having said, so in this video, let's see how we can add Capacitor to our existing Ionic Cordova application. So since we are in our project directory, I will go ahead and say npm install at Capacitor. Okay, after that click enter, and this will run and install Capacitor on our project. Good, so since that is done, we'll go ahead and run npx init to initialize our Capacitor into our project. npx init. So this one will leave our application name to that login form, and our app package ID, I will call it so this is our package name, and we have initialized our Capacitor into our project. So we'll go ahead and add our iOS platform. So let's run npx npx add iOS. It says the iOS could not find the web asset directory. So what we need to do is first to run Ionic build to build our project. Then after that, this will create for us the folder that Capacitor is looking for. Good, so now we can go ahead and run npx cap init. Actually, not that one. Add iOS Okay, let's launch our project by running npx cap open iOS, and this will launch Xcode. Good, so this is our barely a plain blank application, so we can just run it on our emulator and see what we have. Good, so we have successfully started our blank application, IONIC application. So here we have basically installed all the dependencies. Let's go to our to-do list. We installed Cordova, and we installed IONIC, started an IONIC project, and then added capacitor to our project. We also initialized the capacitor within our project by running npx init, and then we also created our platform, which is iOS, using capacitors. So if you have been using IONIC, we use Cordova to create different platforms for our application, for our project, but then now we have replaced Cordova with capacitor. So in this video we have set up the environment that we need to start building our application, and in the next video we'll see how we can create the login sign up page, and see how we can add all the functionalities on our application. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and then receive all the notifications that I will be posting. Okay, see you in my next video. Bye bye.